Rommel is the president of the Maritime Chamber.
Thank you.
Over to you, Rommel.
Which is my Twitter? Yeah. My Twitter is it storage? Storage will be from.
Good morning.
To
Thank you very much for having us here. On behalf of the Maritime Chamber of Panama, thank you, Ambassador Collar, with Mark and Bernard. Thank you for receiving us this very warm reception. Everything has been said already. I'm just going to repeat some messages. The Maritime Chamber of Panama is composed by about 250 companies, all in the maritime sector. Terminal operators, shipping lines, shipping agents, cargo agents, oil terminals, ship chandlers, barges that provide fuel to all vessels transiting the Panama Canal. And we hope that some of the companies here can join us as international members. So what is Panama? Panama, you have seen this map before in different way. Panama today is offering a transshipment platform that wants to become a logistics center. We connect transshipment-wise 140 countries with another 188 countries. That's what we do in Panama as a transshipment business. The transshipment business is the second biggest maritime business in Panama after the Panama Canal. So it is a huge provider of foreign exchange for our country. And this is the Panama Canal. And this is the dry canal, or the land bridge. And some people say it's a micro land bridge because it's only 60 kilometers of railroad and highway that connects the Pacific from the Atlantic. Of course, we have competition between these ports, but we sell a hub, transshipment hub, to the world. We are not one port, we are 5 ports linked by a transitional railroad and a highway. Trucking companies, trucking transshipment by trucks has been growing the last 4 years. And it happens after we have a huge labor strike that collapses the port system, and then customs allow us to start moving containers by truck. And this is a 24/7 operation, never stop. Not in Christmas, not in New Year, not in Mother's Day, not even carnivals, which is very important in Panama. So today we have an imbalance of port capacity offer. As you can see, we have 6 berths in the Pacific and 13 container berths in the Atlantic. And there is an investment going on by PSA for $450 million to add 2 additional berths, container berths. But even that, we still have only 8 in the Pacific and 13 in the Atlantic. By rail, we move about 8,000 containers per week by rail. And by truck, about 6,000 a month. 1 million TEUs are handled by this micro land bridge. 100 million TEUs. The total market the total volume of Panama, that Panama is moving, is about 6 million TEUs a year. Capacity is over 10 million port capacity, but we only handle 6 million TEUs per year. So we offer a package, and this is a model that has been very successful since 2006. How this works like this. This is a post-Panama vessel of 13,000 TEUs calling Panama every week in the Pacific. Initially, it was 6,500 TEUs only. Now it's 13,000. She doesn't go through the canal. So Balboa, Panama, Colombia, and then back to Far East. It's Maersk's flagship for this operation. The biggest modern vessel calling Panamanian port, and it happens in the Pacific. This is another service. This is also a Neo-Panamax vessel, 9,000 TEUs. This is another one from Maersk, was Neo-Panamax service. This is another one, but this one is from MSC and Hapag-Lloyd. And this is another one from CMA CGM, MSC, and China Shipping Container Line. All of them operates in the Pacific and use Panama as a transshipment hub, whether vessel to vessel, or vessel, rail vessel, or vessel trucking and vessel in the Atlantic. And this is another service. And this is the feeder, a sample of the feeder network in the Pacific, and a sample of the feeder network in the Atlantic. It's a huge operation. And we hope there is a demand for more ports, and we hope that this operation will keep growing. And all of this port development has made Panama with the best maritime connectivity of the region. The best in Latin America, it's number one in Latin America, and second in the Americas after the US. 5,900 vessel calls a year, container vessels. We don't count here other type of vessels. 16 container vessels a day. Every single day you will find 16 containers. And thanks to this connectivity, Mr. Demosthenes can connect everywhere in Latin America. Is that right?
It is.
So, and then this is more or less how Panama market share is split between port operators. We have Hutchinson in Balboa with 55% of the market, transshipment market. We have Hutchinson is the same operator that have Felixstowe here in the UK, and Thamesport, and I believe Harwich too, right? I'm not sure. Well, and then we have also HPH in Cristobal, in Colón. Evergreen is have one operations there, and PSA, Port of Singapore Authority. These guys are one of the largest port operators in the world, and they are doing in Panama investment to increase their portfolio of transshipment. And this is how, more or less, how the market is split among shipping lines. And you can see that 2 shipping lines are actually
The kings of the market.
they are not monopolizing. I believe they are the first ones to believe in this project, so they took advantage of this transshipment platform. And this is, as the canal, Panama Canal, the transshipment center service to some origin and destinations. And mainly what we handle here is cargo from China for Latin America, cargo from the US to Latin America. And Chile, Ecuador, Peru, Colombia, Korea, this is all cargo, import cargo to the system. So this is the main origins of the cargo, and these are the main destinations of the cargo handled in Panama. So you can see that first destination is US, second is Chile, then Colombia, Ecuador, Venezuela. It's Latin America mainly, and North America. And this is the market that Panama is investing for, 48 million TEUs. No question so far, right? Okay,
We're running late.
and this is an example of some maritime services that are not called in Panama yet. These are new services from the last 5 years. All of them are using Neo-Panamax vessels also. This is one from CMA CGM. This is another one from CMA together with COSCO, Hapag, and Hamburg Süd. This is Evergreen, COSCO, Jiangming. And this is, I believe, K-Line, NYK, and MOL, specialized in reefer cargo. And this is, again, COSCO, Wanhai, PL Evergreen, and Jiangming. These services are giving the Panama the opportunity to develop another port facility. So from the lines I mentioned before to you, 3 are pre-qualified for this project. Maersk, number 1 container line in the world. MSC, second biggest in the world. And CMA, third biggest in the world, are pre-qualified to tender for that new facility. And of course, PSA, also they are pre-qualified, so there are 4 of the big boys in this business that wants to build that port in Panama. And then we will have this, an improvement in the transshipment center, in the land bridge, and we create a better offer, a more balanced offer with 13 container berths in the Pacific and 13 in the Atlantic. But this will have, I mean, if we know who's going to win this tender, it will start in 6 months construction probably, or 8 months. And then it's going to be 2 years of construction to be able to see the first container operations. So it will take time, but at least it's sending a message to the market that we are getting ready to increase our portfolio of transshipment services. And Panama, as a transshipment hub, as a maritime country, doesn't stop with the previous project. This is another study that has been done before for additional port facilities. Of course, will take probably 10, 15 years to accommodate or to make full use of the previous project. And then we have to go in this direction. Especially if the trade still is dominated by Far East. And then we will keep growing our transshipment center, our service to Latin America. But this creates the critical mass that we need for logistic hub. So what this means for Panama? This port development is only 23 years old. $3.5 billion investment in port development in the last 23 millions. The largest port in Panama, Balboa, this port was developed in the last 17 years and has been phase by phase, phase after phase, and every new phase was fully occupied. So, of course, it has a limit and it has to grow with the market, but as I told you before, you saw before, it's 48 million TEUs in the Latin American market. The West Coast of South America is 8 million TEUs, and Panama is only handling 12% of that market. So it is a room for growth and to create more transshipment cargo, to attend more vessels, more crew, which means for us services. The transshipment center have generated, together with the canal, the largest export of services in Panama and a source of foreign exchange. Only the canal is producing 2.5 billion of foreign exchange every year, and the ports another 2.5 billion in fresh currency, US dollars. And which means more services to cargo, to vessels, and to crew. Panama is one of the probably in Latin America, the largest. Panama, the crew exchange, huge in Panama, more than 90,000 crew people go to Panama every year, out of the vessel and to the vessel. And going to the end of this presentation, the logistic index. I put this slide here because Panama just reached the number 40 position in the world. Number 1 in Latin America, first than Chile. It's first time that we are on top of Chile, but still long way to go if we want to become a logistic hub. You can see Netherlands. They named themselves the logistic hub of Europe, and the port of entrance to all Europe. They are number 4 in the ranking. You see Singapore, number 5 in the ranking. You see Dubai, 13 in the ranking. Singapore is the hub of Asia, and Dubai is Middle East. And then we want to become the hub of the Americas. So we still have to work a lot. And there is a challenge of this emerging logistic hub. That's a big challenge because we have to improve custom, we have to improve infrastructure, we have to improve logistic services, we have to improve the tracking and traceability of cargo that in the last measurement we were not very well assessed. But this something that has become a nation project. As Mr. Rector from the university said, it's a nation project. Because we have all the key elements. A transshipment hub, the canal, we have this very well designed, not on purpose, was at random, logistic area. 3 ports together with the free zone. And we have something similar in the Pacific that will become the hub of the Pacific. We will have to develop 2 hubs, one in the Pacific, one in the Atlantic, but connected by rail, trucks, good processes, and no custom regulation, because the more regulations, then the more interference with the service that we have to provide. And again, this will keep happening in the interoceanic region. The Panama Canal just ordered a consultancy study on how to make the best use of this area for logistic operations. It's $600,000 US dollars to a company named Louis Berger from the US that is carrying out this study today. They have a year to submit the results, and then the nation.
And Rommel is the president of the Maritime Chamber.
Thank you. Toma la foto.
Over to you, Rommel.
Which is my